Wait, okay, hold on a second. Let me actually make sure I have everything here. Good evening, thank you for coming. Tonight is the regular meeting of the Pascack Valley Regional High School District Board of Education, April 17th, 2023. We did have an executive session meeting that concluded a few moments ago where we handled some legal matters. So I'd like to ask Yas to call the roll.
Dr. Blundy, Ms. Calderon,
Yes.
Mr. Luisi,
Here.
Mrs. Martin,
Here.
Mr. Stankus, Ms. Steffens, Mrs. Varghese,
Here.
Mr. Weaver,
Here.
Mr. Blundo.
Here. Okay, if we could all please join in a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by mailing copies of said notice to the record, filing copies of said notice with the municipal clerks of Hillsdale, Montvale, Rivervale, and Woodcliff Lake, and publishing said notice in the record on August 15th, 2022. We'll start with the superintendent's report.
Thank you. We do have some presentations that are coming up in a few moments that I am excited about. It's the last of our series of curriculum updates. So I thank Dr. Backenheimer and his team for coming and for sharing those with us. I do have a couple of other things that I want to share. The first is that Pascack Valley and Pascack Hills hosted middle school festivals for students coming from our sending districts. The teachers from both schools, as well as Ms. Elkin and Ms. Corcoran, along with their counterparts from the middle schools, put together a variety of programs, music-related, a culmination of songs and performances with the middle school choirs and the high school. Everyone enjoyed the events, and the middle schoolers hopefully will be inspired to join our music program once they are here. I also want to make a note that Pascack Hills English teacher Heather Lutz has been working on a state committee to rewrite the curriculum for the New Jersey Commission on Holocaust Education. One of our Valley English teachers, Val Santo, recently hosted a Holocaust survivor, Mark Schonwetter, and his daughter Isabella Fisk as guest speakers to tell his family's important survival story to students and staff. This goes along with the unit they were doing on Holocaust literature. Ken Sarajan, who's one of our social studies teachers here at Valley, will actually be presenting along with Mark Schonwetter at the Holocaust and Armenian Genocide commemoration event that the Hudson County Community College is hosting. Arjun Safari, who spoke last week, our World Language and Facts supervisor, was part of a panel of New Jersey Teachers of the Year at the State Conference for Teacher Recruitment and Retention, which was held at Montclair State University. This was last Tuesday. The conference was attended by administrators, New Jersey legislators, teachers, professors, and nonprofit leaders from around the state. Val Matisich, who's our our district supervisor of English, Arts, and Libraries, in her continued role as president of the New Jersey Council of Teachers of English, will be presenting the opening speech at the organization's annual spring conference on April 29th. And Dr. Alexander Flegging, Pascack Hills English teacher, recently published an article in the National Council of Teachers of English called English Journal, a national peer-reviewed journal for high school English teachers. So I wanted to share those substantial contributions that we had from our staff. We have such an impressive staff, and it's been a real honor to get to know them and to learn more about all of the cool things they're doing outside of the classroom.
Thank you, Sarah. Yes, you were going to give us an update on some bond refunding?
That's correct. So we had done a first reading and a second reading for the bond refunding, basically a refinancing of the bonds that we have outstanding. So I got word from our financial consultant that the bond market looks very good at this point. We'll realize, hopefully we'll realize a greater than 3% net savings. So that's what's required. Otherwise, we can't refund the bonds. So right now, it looks like it's about a 4.1% savings, and that would be about $70,000 per year off the debt service. So we're hoping that the market will stay stable or become more favorable. So right now, they're going through an RFP for an underwriter, so we'll get going on that. We also have to do a ratings call. Unfortunately, with the ratings, if we don't go through with the sale, we'll be on the hook for their fee. But typically, the financial consultant told me that they do discount it if we do not go and complete the sale. So hopefully, that won't happen, that we will realize a 3% or greater net savings. So it should happen fairly quickly. When I say fairly quickly, we hope to get to market sometime probably around mid to late May. That's kind of the timing that we're looking at. And once the closing will probably be done sometime early June, and then the bond will be basically ready either July or August.
And you'll keep us posted on that.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't change the date term, just the reduces the payment.
That is correct. It can't be shortened or lengthened, unlike refinancing your home. But for this, it can't be, it's the same term.
Fantastic.
Right.
Any questions? Thanks, yes. Okay, we do have minutes from the March 27th regular meeting. Is there a motion? Is there
Second.
any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Calderon?
Yes.
Mr. Luisi?
Yes.
Mrs. Martin?
Yes.
Ms. Steffens?
Yes.
Mrs. Varghese?
Yes.
Mr. Weaver?
Yes.
Mr. Blendo?
Yes. Okay, so we have some student recognitions this evening. And the first is the Terra North New Jersey STEM Fair, or the TNJSF. And whereas the following students from Pascack Hills and Pascack Valley High Schools competed in the Terra North New Jersey STEM Fair. The TNJSF is a science fair competition for high school students in 10 counties of northern New Jersey. The mission of the TNJSF is to support, encourage, and recognize student involvement in scientific research and design. So we will ask those that are called to please join Ms. Bellotti downstairs. Olivia G., our representative from Pascack Hills, and Suhani Mahale, also from Pascack Hills, who were awarded first place Environmental Science Ernst's Make a Difference Award, USAID Science Champion Award. Congratulations. Thank you. Zoe Green from Pascack Hills, Animal Science First Place ISEF Finalist. Not here? Okay. Anya Heinekamp and Michaela Darian from Pascack Valley, the Keene University Biotech Club Award, second place. Nicole Golub from Pascack Hills, second place, Animal Science. Not here. Hyunjun Fred Lim from Pascack Hills, second place, Computational Pharmacological Association for Computing Machinery Award. Fred is winning awards I can't even pronounce. That's a great job. Stephen Samarco, Pascack Valley. Stephen advanced to Phase 2. Amanda Poliniak and Koichi Tazaki from Pascack Valley, 4th place in chemistry. Okay. Ari Hirschfield and Stephen Huang from Pascack Hills. NASA Earth System Science Project Award. Good. Leah Bahar and Logan Litt from Pascack Hills advanced to Phase 2. Dylan Cochin and Ashtha Shukla from Pascack Hills also advanced to Phase 2. Let's give the our young scientists another rousing applause. Fantastic. Okay, we have a Partners in Science Teacher Award. Whereas Dr. Marlene Healy, a science teacher at Pascack Valley High School, won the Partners in Science Teacher, and the Dr. Martin Edelberg, a science teacher at Pascack Hills, won the Partners in Science Award, second alternate. Teachers who win this award will be able to choose one student from grades 10 or 11 from their school to participate in the Partners in Science program run by Liberty Science Center. The program pairs students with mentors in science, health, and technical fields and challenges them to participate in ongoing research and independent projects. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Pascack Valley Regional High School District Board of Education recognize and commend Dr. Healy and Dr. Edelberg for their outstanding achievement. Anybody here? Okay. We have the Sister Rose Thiering essay competition. Oh, wait, we have somebody. I'm sorry, he didn't want to come up. You deserve it. Well earned. The Sister Rose Thiering essay competition. Whereas Jillian Fleischman, a junior at Pascack Hills, won first place in the annual Sister Rose Thiering essay competition, and Casey McKay, a senior at Pascack Hills, and Asiya Crandall, a freshman at Pascack Hills, each received an honorable mention in the annual Sister Rose Thiering essay competition. Oh, we got some, okay. All North Junior Regional Jazz Band. Whereas Ming Yang Quinn, a freshman at Pascack Valley High School, has been accepted into the All North Jersey Junior Regional Jazz Band first chair, alto saxophone. The New Jersey Association for Jazz Education organizes the highly competitive auditions with students from all of North Jersey. Now therefore it be resolved that the Pascack Valley Regional High School District Board of Education recognize and commend Ming Yang for his outstanding achievement. You know, how many can you win in a month? Whereas Olivia G., a junior at Pascack Hills High School, has been accepted into the New Jersey All-State Orchestra for Violin. The All-State Orchestras in New Jersey consist of the highest performing high school musicians. Now therefore it be it resolved that the Pascack Valley Regional High School District Board of Education recognize and commend Olivia for her outstanding achievement. So let's one last round for everybody that performed and won an award tonight. And all of these achievements were outstanding. But Olivia, I have to ask you, how do you have time to study, to do all this stuff? You don't have to answer that. Great job. Thank you. All right. Okay. That's it for the awards. You're welcome and wanted to stay, but if you choose to leave, now would be the time to do it. It is. It is a good one coming up. Oh, it is. It really is. And then, you know, the truth is, these kids. Oh, wow, did I not have that going the whole time?
No, I just.
All right. We now come to what's become a repeating theme, and it's a highlight of the night. We have a presentation from our curriculum office led by Dr. Backenheimer. So I'm going to turn it over to you. Do you want us to come down? Do you have slides?
Yep, we have a couple slides to share.
Okay.
Thank you. There we go. All right. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board, members of the public. I feel like, to a degree, Billy Joel with his, time in residence in Madison Square Garden, but I'm not as musical nor as popular. However, we are talking about music tonight, so certainly, perhaps that's, certainly relevant as we go through. So tonight, we're here to share with you the final of our three curriculum presentations. Tonight, focusing on the arts, music, our special programs, and our regional curriculum office with a focus on wellness. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, what's the curriculum piece behind this? Isn't just a bunch of kids maybe doing paintings or singing a couple songs? Well, we know if you've been to any of our productions, any of our concerts, our art shows, that it's way more than that. And certainly it's a high level of talent amongst our students. It's a high level of talent amongst our faculty and our supervision staff making all these pieces happen. So we're very pleased to share this with you tonight. Obviously, the pieces you're going to see tonight talk about our student success, and that student success doesn't happen without our faculty success and the support we have from administration and our support from the Board of Education. So we thank you for your ongoing support there. And tonight, rather than hear about new curriculums per se, you're going to get a chance to see some examples and hear about some of the accomplishments of our students, some of the work that they're undergoing, as well as the various programs we do to support our students and support our region when it comes to health and wellness. So to kick things off, I'm going to ask Ms. Matisich to come up and talk about our art department.
Good evening, everyone. It's so bizarre for me to be presenting with my back to you. I just don't think it's worth it to go around the other side, but forgive my back to you. Really, I'm just so excited to be here to highlight, English is a tested area. This is not. I always call art kind of the social emotional hub of this school, like the related arts. It's really what a lot of kids come to school for, and I'm lucky that I represent a department where all the teachers are really working artists in their own right. They show their work, they sell their work, they actually do what they're teaching the students to do. So it's really my pleasure to just show you a little snippet of what they've been up to with the students and really professionally themselves. So each of them pretty much just gave me a few images to show, and so I do have a number of slides even though we were limited, but I will go very fast. So one thing that we've been happy to do is just get back to field trips in the wake of coming out of COVID and whatnot. That's really important for the art students to get out, go to museums, go to galleries, go to different spaces to shoot and be inspired. So for instance, Ms. Garrettson at Hills, the photography teacher, has been able to go on several field trips, as you see, Grounds for Sculpture, which is really cool, up in New York State, the Bronx Zoo, and Bergen Arts, Teen Arts Festival, and they not only showed their work, kind of to compete, but also received critique from all kids from around the county, which is a very cool real-life art experience. They're going to continue, the Hills art teachers, to do like an open to the public evening event where the students' work will be showcased for everybody. And during the pandemic, we were stuck doing virtual, which was cool in its own way, but we're happy to invite everyone back. And here you see two examples of some student photography, which I think is really cool. Flipping to Pascack Valley, there's Miss DeJacopo with her honors studio art class, just highlighting one thing, and kind of wanted to note that like art is a public service as well and helps beautify our spaces and brings people together in our community, even if they don't still take arts classes. So one thing that Miss DeJacopo usually does in different places is paint holiday murals. Again, to beautify and kind of greet everybody nicely, and it's all the students' original work, and they engage in doing everything themselves, which is it's not easy to paint on glass. Everybody's watching you, so the kids took a full day back in the winter and did this out in the front of PV, which is great that Mr. Puccio was supportive of this, and they really had a great time. So that's just an example of kind of a community-based piece. Ms. Back, who I do want to point out, and I really hate referencing my phone, but I wanted to make sure I had the number right. She actually was just awarded a $23,000 grant by the New Jersey State Council on the Arts, really to pursue her own artwork on her own time. So luckily, she'll be engaging in that largely in the summer. So when I say that the teachers are really doing what they're teaching the students to do, they're truly doing that and being recognized for it. So she used her Photoshop skills to take the displays that she puts out in the hallway right there and just kind of put them all in one place so we could see them easily. So you're just seeing little snippets, and as she notes, some of her projects are wacky and funny, like awkward family photos, and some are magazine spreads and whatnot, and some are a little more serious. So that's why she said bringing some beauty and comedy to the halls of PV. So whenever you're walking by in that art wing, there's always something interesting being displayed there by her students, and you could see she's done some cool field trips as well, partnering with the literary magazine and Ms. Jerome, most recently in New York City. Finally, something really fun and different is that Ms. Miranda, who's the ceramics teacher, attended with Dr. Backenheimer and several other teachers a podcasting workshop at Montclair State. She's actually making a podcast with her kids about being in the ceramics studio. She's tentatively calling it the Mud Room, and it's going to be a visual podcast, so they'll be podcasting what they do. And ceramics has really exploded here specifically, and the students love it. So I'm actually happy to report that, well, the state, a few years ago, I believe, had noted us for not having enough students taking art classes. We've definitely gone in the complete other direction. We're sort of beyond capacity at this point, and then students are really engaging in all of our arts offerings, which is exciting. So look out for all of those things. We'll keep publicizing them. Thanks so much. Of course, I almost said I'll take questions, but I didn't. I definitely think so, because they can hit all their academics, anything that, they're trying to build toward college readiness and whatnot, but then they still can engage in some of the things they love, I think, which is partially the thinking and moving to this new modified schedule with an extra period in the day. I would guess so. Yeah, thank you.
So I don't know if the mic's going to pick up my big mouth, but former board member David Steinberg, if you're listening, this was his absolute pet peeve that we were losing ground in the arts. So what you've done, the 8th period is done, is remarkable. And David, if you're not listening, hopefully somebody gets him that word. You were drilling it in our head, and it's been accomplished. So thank you, Val.
Of course, I didn't even put all the statistics up there, but I do want to note that it's widely researched, all the benefits to arts education, how it helps boost scores, et cetera, in the academic subjects and whatnot. So it really is important, and I really thank the district for supporting these endeavors.
Yeah, I was going to say, Mr. Blundo, you beat me to it. I was going to mention that piece about it, how years ago we had came to meetings and we had students undersubscribed in our art classes for a variety of reasons. And since then, our art classes are very highly subscribed, and you can see some of the great work they're doing. So thank you for recalling that. All right, at this time, I'm going to move over to music. Our acting supervisor of music, Ms. Arjeen Safari, who's going to talk not only just about what's happening at Pascack Hills and Pascack Valley and some of the great accomplishments of our students.
Well, thank you, Dr. Beckenheimer. Good evening, and thank you so much for this opportunity to share what I'm very passionate about, what's happening in our district in the arts and specifically in music. So if I could summarize what's been happening in the music department, so to speak, is that we've gotten community involved and it's very inclusive. So when I say community, all those events that you see listed here have brought up a larger community together. And for example, we've had conferences, we've had concert band festivals, concert at the Jewish Assisted Living Home, benefit concert, which brought people together, the tutoring project, which puts together middle schoolers with the high schoolers, the friendship concert with Essex High School, which really put us on a map, so to speak, with arts performing school, and they came, visited us, and we had a collaborative concert here. The district middle school choral festivals, which opened the doors to our middle schoolers to come and see what they should be looking forward to. And we've had some exciting events happening. And of course, along with this, we've had a lot of community members participating in all of this. So as far as the courses and curriculum goes, we have a lot of new things happening in the music department this year, actually. We have 2 new courses, keyboarding course and modern rock band course, actually 3 courses, and music technology. Those 3 courses are brand new in our district. And the keyboarding class, all 3 courses are open to every student. Anybody with basically zero knowledge of music can come and join those courses, which is why I worded it as an inclusion. And that's what our goal was, that music is not something that's prestigious, you have to join and not have a talent, but anybody can do music. And we are really involving, we've seen really a rise in special education students taking those classes, which is really a very, very hard to get those students involved in things like that. But I've had keyboarding students in my class when I was teaching at the time, and now the special education students involved in that modern rock band and music technology. So it's very, very, very appealing that we have these opportunities for students. Of course, as new starting courses, they are still small, but we've seen a rise for the next year, so more students are applying, trying to get involved in those courses. And one of the pictures that you see on the left, that's actually our new Panthers recording studio that we established here at Pascack Valley. And you see the students working on one of the projects, and they can record the sound, record a voice or instruments where behind the wall, but while, working on their computers using the programs. In the middle, you see a picture at Pascack Hills, which was an open house basically during lunch. We had students who are enrolled in those 3 new courses share their talent and what they've been doing with the students who could come during lunch, bring your food, come and join. And it was a phenomenal event. We had one back in January at Pascack Valley. And what we did is the students playing the piano are the ones who really started the course from scratch. And you could see how they literally never played the piano before, and now they're at the piano performing in front of their peers. And there was a rock band performing pieces, and a lot of audience members really joined in singing some of the songs when they were playing. Music Technology shared a couple of projects that they've done. As far as curriculum, again, we had offerings of dual enrollment this year with Seton Hall, and several students are taking those, taking opportunities and being enrolled in those courses. We've had several recognitions, Bergen County Region, All-State Choir and Band acceptances. We also, for the second time in a row, we've been acknowledged as Best Communities for Music Awards, for Music Education Award. We are hoping to get it this year as well. We applied again, but haven't heard back yet. So that is really talking not just about the quality of music in the community, but also the support of the administration and superintendent and Board of Education and the community. So everything is in that word. So I want to thank you all for that support, because that would not have happened without the support coming from the Board of Education and the superintendent and the community. So thank you for that. And we have a lot of events upcoming. Newark Academy actually just happened this past Saturday when our jazz band went and performed the whole day. Literally, it was 12-hour. Really 12-hour packed day when they had workshops, they had master classes, they performed. There were about 15 bands, I think, from all over the country, actually. And they were phenomenal workshop, people who were working with them. So the district band is coming, district band day is coming up. We have 2 festivals from each school, choirs going, choir from Pascack Valley and choir and band from Pascack Hills going on heritage festivals. Those are festivals there. There will be other choirs and bands performing. And the Pascack Valley Festival is going to happen at Riverside Church in Manhattan. And the Pascack Hills one is going to be in Philadelphia. Teen Arts Festival, we have both choirs from both schools and the bands, and actually also some students from the culinary arts going into to Teen Arts Festival. And that's an all-day festival of all sorts of workshops and things like that. We also have a freshman band day in June, where freshmen are invited to come here and play with the high schoolers. So this is just a little glance of what's happening in the music department. And I'm going to move on. And then here is what's happening in our Family Consumer Sciences, where the theme is collaborations and connections. And when I say that, is our preschool program has really blossomed this year. We have the space here, and the new teacher who started the program, actually renewed the program. As you can see a picture here in the middle there, that is the picture during the St. Patrick's Day. And there are links to a lot of pictures taken on that day. So what happened is that the students were having lots of activities, but this was open to the whole community. They were walking around the hallways, and they were involving other teachers and administration. So it was a really fun event, and I have to say, I was so admiring the level of creativity that was happening in Mrs. Alperin's class, that she really put this together. And the students were in charge. Basically, they created all these activities. In both schools, there is an enrollment now that's really been open for the preschool, and we have a bunch of students already, families signed up for that. And we have an enrollment for next year is up, actually, at Pascack Valley for the preschool. And so it's really great to see after the pandemic happening, right? So, and then we also have dual enrollment courses in Family Consumer Sciences offered at Bergen Community College. As far as collaborations go, preschool teachers are collaborating with Media Center, with World Languages, and the entire community, FACS community. And that there have been numerous amazing events and collaborations. The one on the bottom right that you see is a collaboration of the French class at Pascack Hills with the preschoolers. And so the French students are coming to preschool every week, and they are teaching them French. And it's really adorable to see what they do. And then every lesson ends with an activity that the little kids with the high schoolers conduct together. So the one picture that you see here, it was an ice cream rainbow. So they were talking about the colors and learning colors in French. And then they were singing, and then we were collaborating. And it was just really amazing to watch what was happening in that classroom. And that's been going on for many years. But now, me being in a classroom and observing it, it's just really phenomenal. And then we also have district FACS teachers, almost all of them actually attended this all-day workshop at Northern Valley Demarest. And if I say that they came back and they told me how lucky and honored they are to be working in our district, because so many other districts only have maybe one teacher per district, and they are struggling, and then their students are not getting those essential skills that are life skills, 21st century skills. And they came back and they said, we are so lucky to have all this support, and they have this, resources here. So again, thank you for your continued support on that. I have to tell you that all these other districts were just really in awe of what's happening in our district. And so tomorrow, I'm inviting you all to come to a fashion show here at Pascack Valley. It's a free event. For only a half an hour, you're going to get a taste of what kind of fashion our students are working on, and there's also going to be a live jazz band performance during the show. So that's going to be in a cafeteria, but you're not going to recognize the cafeteria. It's going to look completely different. And I think that's what I wanted to share with you. But again, thank you for all your support, and this would not be happening without your support.
What time tomorrow?
Tomorrow, 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. Yes. Oh, I thought it. Okay.
See if there are any questions. All right, thank you, Ms. Safari. So now we're going to move on to special programs. So due to her title, not new to the job, and has been working with these students for quite some time, and in charge of our special programs that we have both at Hills and at Valley. Tara Flannery is going to talk to you a little bit about some of the different things that we've been doing and some of the innovations that are going to be happening as well in the future.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. It's my first time having the opportunity to specifically talk about special programs in this light. I know earlier in the year I was here talking a little bit more about our DLM scores and how we assess students in our programs, but this is near and dear to my heart. This is the meat and potatoes of our program. So I'm kind of going to let the photos speak for themselves, but give you a little background. In the top left, this is kind of a friendly pickup match we did with the Ramsey Unified Bowling Team, and I'm sure you've heard that we are trying very hard to get a unified bowling team going here at Pascack Hills. We have about 17 students in special programs who participate with Coach Saxon. He's done an amazing job with having all the students included in the bowling team. But this match in particular was kind of their highlight of this season. A lot of parents came out, a lot of the administration came out to support them, and it just gives me hope for moving forward with that unified team, that thought of inclusion, and just kind of how we can continue to foresee how to include students in special programs in all of our district activities. The bottom picture with our little peace sign friend, that's travel training. New Jersey Transit coordinates with our daily living skills teacher, Ms. Schultz. They come out into the building, they work on travel training, they help students download the app, they help them plan trips, and this is one of their community-based instruction trips from Montvale to Westwood. This is a freshman group. They will do this in their freshman year, their sophomore year, all the way through 21 if they join us in our Milestones program, with the goal of being able to take public transportation to work. The next picture is Mr. O. I don't know if you can see him hiding back there and what they're actually doing, but they're spray painting a CO2 car. So Elements of Innovation and Design is a somewhat new course to the LLD program. We, during COVID, were trying to come up with additional ways to get students involved, being that we couldn't go out into the community and community-based instruction trips, and develop some additional electives that other students in the district have an opportunity to take, but when our students were going into those mainstream sections, they were finding it very hard to keep up with the pace, some of the math, some of the, literacy. So we have elements of innovation and design, and Mr. O is able to take some of the big projects he does in his mainstream classes and really gear them to the academic levels of the students, but they do a lot of hands-on projects. So they started from the development to the actual cutting of the car, and then they were spray painting, and then they're going to eventually build a brochure and then race their cars. So really exciting stuff for them. The Hills Grind is a daily living skills coffee cart that runs every Tuesday at Pascack Hills. Students are working on purchasing and monitoring inventory. They're working on money skills. They're working on communication skills. Every year, the teacher adds a little bit more. So this year, they're taking online orders and deliveries. So if a teacher is kind of stuck, they're teaching a class, they want a coffee, they fill out an online order. It helps the students learn how to run a Google Doc, fill it, go and deliver their order. And this is a great way. Some of the profits that they're making, they are going on a trip to a Rockland Boulders game at the end of the year that they're paying for with their money from the Hills Grind. The bottom picture is one of our social outings with the Ridgewood 18 to 21 program. So pretty much every month, Miss Sabrina Kearns, who's our Milestones teacher, coordinates with other programs in the area, being that the programs are relatively small. They don't have as many opportunities to engage in social activities with other adults. And these are really nice opportunities for them to get together. So this is actually, I think, maybe the Rivervale, rec center, where LLD program where students are really working on independent living skills, learning how to prepare food, recipes, diets, all of that. But Ms. Mazon took the students out earlier in the year and did some planting, so they're hoping that they can harvest that and use it in the classroom. So those are just a few of the exciting things going on. This list I'm beyond excited about. Again, with COVID, it really put a damper on our ability to go out into the community and do community-based instructions, job sampling, and internships, which is a huge component of our programs. So this is our current list of partnerships. I have to say our community has been more than open to working with us and helping our students develop. We've had a couple of students offer jobs, whether at after school or in the summer, particularly from Walgreens, which is amazing. We've had students transition and get jobs on their own in some of the grocery stores. So a few new ones that are on the list, the Pagoda Press, and that kind of partners, if you look down a little bit, to Greens Do Good. They're kind of local, so with transportation, we try to get things that are close to each other. But the Greens Do Good is actually, their catchphrase is produce with a purpose. And they are working on training and employing teens and adults with autism. So those are the only people that can work or train at Greens Do Good. If you want to look it up, it's amazing. And if you want to support, you can buy your Gotham Greens. I don't know if anybody's familiar with them. That's what they do there. And then I have highlighted here Pascack Press. I think Ms. Bellotti had shared with the board that our program was highlighted in the Pascack Press last week for our program, but I did put a link there. If you want to check it out, we have some great recognition of all the work we're doing in internships. And then there's just a few pictures of our interns at work. The first picture is at Fresh Grocer. Not only do students work in the grocery store doing returns, facing shelves, but these two particular students work in the bakery. The student that has her back to us is actually enrolled in a culinary course at Bergen, simultaneously to being in Milestones with, a goal of, working in that field. Our next picture is at Cedar Tree, just prepping for they're rushed getting the napkins, they do all the table settings and things. And then the Rivervale Magazine, this is actually one of our interns who wrote about his experience in his internship, but he also interviews people. They have like a Pet of the Month article that if you get Rivervale Magazine, you'll take a peek and you'll get to see that. I will say, due to the press that we got in Pascack Press, I got a phone call last week from somebody who owns a physical therapy agency, and they wanted to partner with us. So I'm hoping that with that publicity, we'll get more phone calls like that, and people will start to understand a little bit more the partnership we have with the community and how it benefits them as well as our students. And lastly, we are adding a related arts elective. Ms. Matisich and I have been chatting about just to give students another opportunity to get involved in another area of the arts within the high school. So we're looking forward to that additional elective next school year. So, any questions? Yeah, it's exciting. I wish I could have put 50 pictures, but we all want to go home tonight, right?
And our last speaker for this evening is Alyssa Merritt, who's our Regional Curriculum and Instruction Coordinator. Normally, we think about the work that's going on in the regional office and how each year our regional connections continue to get stronger and stronger, and how our curriculum K through 12 gets more and more aligned. One area that she has seized the proverbial bull by the horns in is the area of wellness. This is an area she's very passionate about and very knowledgeable about. And as you know from our goals that we've reported out each year she takes on a regional curriculum wellness initiative, and she's here to talk to you about that today.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me tonight. I also apologize for having my back awkwardly to all of you, but I'm not going to be the trendsetter. So, as Barry shared, I'm the Regional Instruction and Curriculum Coordinator. I will always reference that the regional office is busy doing all the things because I do all the things. So one of the areas that has been a goal since I've started in the last 3 years is our wellness initiative, and it's something that I'm really proud of. I partner every year with our wellness departments in both Pascack Hills and Pascack Valley, and we offer parent groups to our K-12 community, which is really incredible. They're offered during the day and in the evening to accommodate as many different schedules as we can. So Jen Zimmerman, Erica Franceschi, Christy Rossig, and Joanna Katz have just been incredible. Our theme this year was mindful parenting, so I often find that I'm jotting notes myself as a parent, but they've been tremendously successful, and I hope that we can continue doing that next year and for many years to come. On the regional curriculum office front, like I said, we do all the things. So last year we revised our K-8 curriculum across 5 content areas. That's all the new standards that the state has shared with us. We brought all of our schools together and really aligned our curriculum and spent a lot of time focusing on best practices and what we're doing in our classrooms to really support our teachers, because coming back from COVID has been really challenging for everyone. So coming up next year, we will be working on ELA and math together, on just getting our practices aligned, reviewing the standards, and creating some similar skills across the region K-8. We'll also partner with our high schools just to continue that articulation. The last portion really also focuses on wellness, but the twist I took this year was really focusing on instructional wellness. So really focusing on the needs of our staff. In the last 3 years, I've grown our regional new staff mentoring program from a 1-year program to a 3-year program. So our program actually culminates with a teacher leadership project. So we're putting some onus back on our teachers and saying, you're awesome. What else can you do? Show us what you can do. How can you help make your classrooms better, your schools better, your districts better? Because we know success at a K-8 is success at a 9-12. So that's something that's really been exciting this year for everyone. So we just had our presentations at the end of March, and there's a lot of really awesome things going on in all of our sendings. This is just some snapshots of the excitement that's been going on in the top left. So I have a picture just of the wellness conversation that the wellness department ran. The large picture is if you've ever been at Pascack Hills, this is the conference room. I pack them in. Like there's probably 40 or 50 teachers in there in one of our regional programs just having conversations. This is an activity about giving feedback in the classroom and giving meaningful feedback and getting kids to engage with it instead of being like, do this. And then at the bottom left is another piece of our instructional wellness, and that is actually some of our science teachers. We had a great opportunity to have a bridging conversation with our 8th grade science teachers and our high school science teachers about what do we want our science graduates to come out with? Like, what skills, what practices should we expect them to have? So it was a nice conversation, a nice time for us to really align those goals for our students. So that's just a little snippet of all the things that are going on in the regional office. Does anyone have any questions I can answer?
Just a comment. For people that have been involved 10 years or so, to know where this came from, to where it is today, Barry, it's amazing. The districts tried to talk to each other, the sending districts, but there was really a lack of coordination, in my opinion, and I was on the other side, I was on the local side then. And just this weekend, I was with a former board member of Woodcliff Lakes K-8, and he was saying how he was wondering if things were still disjointed, and he hasn't been on for 10 plus years. And I was so happy to say, you know, it's amazing. It's amazing the work you and your predecessors have done to coordinate these 4 towns. Nothing's going to be perfect, but from where it came from, it is absolutely amazing. And the other thing that I'll say is a couple of the presidents have reached out to me. Years ago, before COVID, we would get together with your office just to see if at the leadership level, you know, a couple of board members, not just the president, were aligned as well. So a few people are interested in getting that back together. If you feel there's a need, we'd like to pursue that, so we can talk about it.
That's something definitely we can talk about. Great. Thank you so much.
So to conclude, again, thank you for your ongoing support. None of these programs work without support from our board, our administration, our supervisors, our teachers, and our students who are actively participating in all of them. So thank you for your attention. Thank you for your interest, certainly, for our presentations the last couple weeks. Any questions that I or the supervisors can answer to close this off?
Barry, I think I speak for everyone because I see the heads nodding. We love these sessions. It's so fulfilling to hear all the tremendous things that go on. And, you know, we came out of COVID too, and we spent 2 years fighting about mascots and masks. And it's so nice to hear that a lot of these projects and these initiatives are back up, back running, growing again, and getting back to the basics of making this one of the best districts, if, in my opinion, the best, but I'm biased. So great job to you and the team, and thank you for the presentations.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Is this my homework? We'll do it right there. How great that was.
So cool.
Yep. Okay. All right, at this point, we will open to the public. The first open to the public is just on agenda items. So I will see if there's any members of the public that wish to speak. Seeing no hands, I'll close to the public. We have one policy consent agenda item. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Calderon,
Yes.
Mr. Luisi,
Yes.
Mrs. Martin, Ms. Steffens,
Yes.
Mrs. Varghese,
Yes.
Mr. Weaver,
Yes.
Mr. Blundo.
Yes. We have 3 consent agenda items under education. Is there a motion?
Second.
Any discussion?
I just want to talk about the trips. I'm really excited to see that we're doing trips again, that they're on the agenda. And I know I had spoken to Ms. Bellotti about the exposure to parents as to where they can gain more access regarding the upcoming trips, because there's such great ones. So I know we talked about that, and yeah, so I didn't know if you had any more additional information about it.
Just that I did send a reminder just to make sure that if the trip is open to both schools, that we make sure it gets onto the parent square so that people can see it. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Just want to make sure we're not out of order. So we're up to human resources.
Oh, wait.
Wait, there's something, I'm out of order here. It didn't look right. So what are we missing?
So for education, we have to take a vote.
Oh, we did, okay, that's where I'm not out of order. Okay, roll call, please.
Ms. Calderon,
Yes.
Mr. Luisi,
Yes.
Mrs. Martin, Ms. Steffens,
Yes.
Mrs. Varghese,
Yes.
Mr. Weaver,
Yes.
Mr. Blundo.
Yes, so now we're up to human resources, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. We have, no, you have every reason. 8 consent agenda items. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Any discussion? Roll call.
Ms. Calderon,
Yes.
Mr. Luisi,
Yes.
Mrs. Martin, Ms. Steffens,
Yes.
Mrs. Varghese,
Yes.
Mr. Weaver,
Yes.
Mr. Blundo.
Yes. Okay, we have an amendment under finance. There will now be 22 consent agenda items. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
22.
It's 20, we added the,
We have the.
we added the issue that we settled in executive session, and what was the other addition?
It was the bid award.
No, 22. 22 is the
bid award,
resolution for the settlement that we discussed in executive.
Bid award and a settlement agreement.
It's not numbered.
Okay? Everybody good with 22? Any other discussion? Roll call.
Ms. Calderon,
Yes.
Mr. Luisi,
Yes.
Mrs. Martin, Ms. Steffens,
Yes.
Mrs. Varghese,
Yes.
Mr. Weaver,
Abstain on 22 just because I wasn't able to attend the executive session, and yes to everything else.
Mr. Blundo.
Yes. And just for clarification, item number 22, it's public, so right? We can talk about it. There was some construction done at Pascack Hills up by the track, which we were not satisfied with. We could not resolve the issue with the contractors involved. There was a filed litigation. We had a settlement where the district will be recovering significant funds for that project. So that's what it was. We're not paying anything out. We're collecting most of what, a good settlement. It's public. You can read about it if you're interested or contact us. Okay? We don't want any secrets. All right. All right, we are up to old business. We have one marked for suspensions, March 2023.
That's just the report.
Okay,
That's just the report.
okay. So, any old business?
Joe, I just wanted to piggyback on what you said with regard to Dr. Backenheimer. I think one of the things that's lost is, you look at some districts who have change in leadership. We went from COVID to superintendent who left, to an interim superintendent, to a new superintendent. And I think the fact that we've seen that growth the way that we have in that department and that area, just speaks volumes to his efforts. And so I just felt I wanted to add that piece there too, because I think it's an important thing to make note of.
You're absolutely correct, Mike. It's just amazing, we had spent a lot of time on things that are important, but at the end of the day, we're about educating and inspiring young lives, and to hear them come and talk about the programs that they have. It was just amazing. And I do like that Sarah and Barry have broken it up into a couple different weeks, because we used to get like 1 2-hour block and you come out of here fried. But here we get to really focus on a couple of things in evening and really get to hear about the wonderful work that goes on here. So thank you. Okay.
Just one more old business, well, I guess it's old business now because we just voted on it, right? So I apologize for missing the executive session. I was at a game for my daughter. But when we were talking about this really at its infancy, there were questions surrounding the timeline of the work and how that might impact activities that would happen on the stadium field. Have we started to have those conversations yet, and what does that look like?
Didn't come up in executive, but do you have any information, Sarah?
So the settlement just kind of happened on Friday. So I don't have a timeline yet on what it is. I'm actually not sure what the materials timeline is going to be for ordering them. But now that we've accepted the settlement, it now has to be entered into the court docket officially. Once it's entered into the court docket officially, we'll then get a timeline on when we'll actually receive the funds. And then from that point forward, you'll start to see motions of us purchasing materials, doing the contracting for the betterment, and then actually, doing the work. I don't know, Yas, do you have any sense from Robert as to what the timeline of that would be?
No, because we're going to have to go to bid.
Yeah.
We'll have to have a proposal from an engineer.
It won't be immediate.
No, well, hopefully it'll be the following summer.
Yeah.
That we can do the work. It can't be this summer.
No, I remember that being the conversation.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
Having to be a summer project that needed to start right
right after graduation, basically.
So I think we were even talking, can you even have graduation there in order to finish it on time for the
yeah, we have to
fall sports to
we have
start?
to get a good idea as far as what the timeline will be.
All right, not
so-
for tonight, but just,
Sure.
Yeah.
So I think it's
Relevant.
going to be help from the engineer and from contractors to get an idea of how long it'll take.
So just
Yeah,
to be
relevant
clear, in case
question.
somebody only heard every other word, it's not going to affect this year's graduation at all.
Oh, yeah.
At all. It will be as planned, as long as
correct.
the weather gods hold up. Any other old business? Okay, any new business? Okay. We'll open for the second and last time to the public on any topic at all. Any members of the public wish to speak? Seeing no hands, I will close to the public. Just curious as to why that's there. Am I missing something? I don't think so. We don't have to vote on it
No.
closed. Okay. I don't know why that was. All right, so without anything else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Anybody second?
Second.
We're adjourned.